Welcome back, distinguished architects of the truth and connoisseurs of the unspoken, to the hallowed, velvet-lined archives of Mr. Magazine. You have stepped once again into the only sanctuary in the digital realm where a police siren is analyzed with the gravity of a symphony, and where the silence of a superstar is deciphered like an ancient, sacred code. We are the premier destination for those who understand that in the glittering, often deceptive world of celebrity, the most profound stories are not those scripted by screenwriters, but those that unfold in the cold, harsh light of the real world, where reputations are built in years and threatened in seconds. The headline that jolted Turkey and spilled across Europe was not a premiere or a wedding. It was a police raid. Reports tying the disciplined, stoic Gökberk Yıldırım to a dramatic operation at the dawn of 2026 have left the industry breathless, with whispers dragging his partner, Semra Arda, into the storm by association. What started as a flurry of chaotic headlines quickly turned into a duel over facts. Was he a participant, or a victim of circumstance? Today, we dissect the chain of claims, the aggressive counterclaims, and the airtight alibi that aims to rewrite the narrative. But before we decode the nuances of this legal thriller and analyze the fallout for Turkey's rising stars, I must ask for a moment of your esteemed patronage. If you value the depth, the elegance, and the fearless analysis of our storytelling, please ensure you have pressed that subscribe button. It is your passport to the inner circle of the truth. For those among you who wish to walk the red carpet of exclusive content and support the artistry of our investigations, the Join Cattle button is waiting for your click. It is the mark of a true insider who demands more than just rumors. Your likes and comments are the ink with which we write history, so please, let your voice be heard in the discussion below. Now, let us examine the evidence. It began with the stark, blue flashing lights of a large-scale police operation at a bustling entertainment venue in the heart of Istanbul. Authorities described the sweep as a focused crackdown on narcotics and public order. A net cast wide to catch the darker underbelly of the city's nightlife. The raid instantly vaulted into headlines, dominating the news cycle. As reports proliferated about the detentions of multiple attendees, a single claim detonated the media landscape, that Gökberk Yıldırım had been swept up in the dragnet. Within hours, the shockwaves reached Italy and Spain, where Gökberk is admired not just for his talent, but for his discipline and magnetic on-screen presence. It wasn't long before Semra Arda's name was attached to the frenzy, not as a suspect, but as the partner standing beside him through the fire. The image of the golden couple was suddenly under siege by the specter of scandal. In response to the growing cacophony, the first official statement from the couple's camp finally landed. And let us be clear, the representative's message was not a whisper, it was a drumbeat. The statement took direct, lethal aim at the narratives that had run wild. Their representative insisted that Gökberk had no connection whatsoever with any unlawful activity, underscoring that the narrative was illogical from the start. According to their version, his appearance at the venue was a classic case of wrong place, wrong time. But it was more than that. Behind the scenes, sources speaking to international outlets described an alibi that their team calls airtight. Gökberk was reportedly at the location for a pre-production session with European partners. They were discussing timelines, creative strategy, and international distribution. It was work, not revelry. This flips the image completely. The so-called party scene morphs into an impromptu meeting room, and the suspect transforms back into the diligent professional we know. This brings us to a profound inquiry about judgment. When a celebrity is named in a scandal, do you wait for the facts, or does the headline become the truth in your mind? Is it fair that Gökberk has to prove his innocence, or should the media have been more careful? We are incredibly curious to hear your philosophy on trial by media. Please, share your profound thoughts in the comments below. We read every single theory. And if you believe truth is worth waiting for, show your support by hitting that like button right now. The defense isn't stopping at words. Those close to the representation office say lawyers immediately asked for full access to CCTV footage from inside and outside the venue. Their goal? To produce irrefutable visual evidence confirming that he neither argued with officers nor engaged in drugs or any prohibited behavior. They want to show the world a man who was polite, cooperative, and focused on leaving once the operation escalated. The plan also includes collecting on-the-record witness statements. Media strategists point out that using such definitive phrasing, groundless, illogical, is a high-wire act. It is a bet that communicates one thing: absolute confidence in innocence. In a world where ambiguity can destroy careers, certainty has its own logic. Another pivotal point stressed by the couple's team is full cooperation. Their narrative frames Gökberk as someone determined to help bring out the truth, not a figure dodging cameras or slipping away out the back door. A new element about the venue strengthens this framing. It's now alleged the establishment's license was irregular, and that this was unknown to the guests. He was a patron of a business that failed its own legal tests. Now, nuance is fighting back. Focus has shifted from only the couple's public statement to a broader tactic being orchestrated quietly. Leaked chatter hints that Gökberk and Semra's legal and communications teams see this not solely as an exercise in clearing their names in Turkey, but as a necessary shield for their international arcs. European coverage, particularly in Italy and Spain, is under a microscope. We're told that legal notices are being drafted to challenge any outlet that claimed arrests or guilt without confirmation. Some foreign sites ran sensational lines before facts were verified, and that has sparked a sense, inside the defense, of a direct injury to honor. Italy's press appears split. On one side, voices who have followed Gökberk's career for years note his punctuality, his disciplined routine, and the couple's preference for focus over noise. On the other, columnists who thrive on drama. But the timing and tone of the weekend message reveal it was pitched to a European audience that knows the couple's work and chemistry on and off screen. They are fighting for their global reputation. Another thread the defense is tugging at is disproportionate perception. They argue the presence of a famous face exaggerated the event's apparent scope. They claim he was never a target of the operation, and that officers on site encountered no resistance from him. Quite the contrary, say insiders, he allegedly offered to answer questions then and there to expedite clarity. The story about production schedules being halted? Unverified. In fact, several companies, we hear, are simply waiting for official results before making moves. That is precisely the outcome the team hoped for with their "stay calm" message, to keep the industry from rushing to judgment. A source close to the couple confides that Gökberk views this as one of life's major tests but refuses to retreat into silence. He has reportedly said, "The truth will surface. I'm not hiding." Those words echo the stubbornness of someone who trusts what the evidence will show. And Semra, with her balance of warmth and steel, is said to be at his side in spirit and strategy, acting as a voice of reason. She is reminding everyone that reputations are marathons, not sprints. One messy night cannot eclipse years of consistency. We are deep into the analysis of this battle for integrity. If you are enjoying this breakdown of the hidden strategies behind the headlines, please make sure you have joined the Mr. Magazine family by subscribing. We decode the stories that others miss. Also, I implore you to check out the "To Join" Catil button below this video. Doing so allows you to support our channel directly. Do you think the media owes them an apology? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And so we stand on the edge of the next chapter. The public waits for the prosecution's official note and the test results expected to eliminate ambiguity. The day's unofficial headline, etched across social feeds and whispered in agency halls, is simple: a total defense. Everything now hinges on documentation and procedure. The couple's supporters are confident, their critics are cautious, and the undecided are holding their breath. This saga has become more than a late-night raid. It has ignited questions about how fast stories harden into verdicts, how social media can turn a hypothesis into a scarlet letter, and how a star's presence can distort the lens through which events are captured. The delicate seam between entertainment and justice has once again been pulled almost to breaking. If you followed Gökberk Yıldırım and Semra Arda, you know they are not reckless headline chasers. Their brand is built on diligence and steady progress. That's why the narrative of a chaotic party never fit easily with their public personas. The defense is betting that when the footage is reviewed, when the timeline is reconstructed, and when witnesses speak under their own names, the story will shrink from scandal to misunderstanding. Meanwhile, the couple's team is ready to take action against any platform that blurs the line between commentary and falsehood. As we wait, attention returns to a single question: will this ordeal leave a scar or a lesson? Will the first months of 2026 mark the moment their bond was tested and proved unbreakable, or will it become a cautionary tale about how quickly a narrative can run away from the truth? We at Mr. Magazine will be watching every legal filing and every frame of footage to bring you the unvarnished truth. Thank you for joining us in the archives today. If this report on the resilience of reputation resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, may you always have the courage to stand your ground when the storm hits. Goodbye.